Both of these are requests to the state legislature because we are asking that we, meaning the town board, be permitted to alienate, that is to convey, parkland or area that's been designated as parkland to another entity. And without going into all the various rules and laws that involve this, both of these transfers are going to what I'll say are municipalities. The first is going to the county of Monroe, and the second is going to the Webster Central School District. Item number 2 involves a conveyance of a portion of what is known as Sandbar Park, which Sandbar Park is an area of land a little under 2 acres, I believe, down at the bay outlet. It borders both the bay and the lake that the town owns, that we purchased after a referendum permitting the town to bond $1 million to purchase the property. I think it was in 2003. As a result of that, we own some property. There's also happened in the last year, there have been a number of construction projects and grants that have been given to the town of Webster and the county to improve the property down there, to prevent further erosion, to straighten the road out, to make things safer for both pedestrians and traffic. And as a result of that, there's been an idea and a concept to change the roadway, which is a Lake Road is a county road, and make it a little more amenable to traffic and pedestrians, and at the same time improve the I'd say the break wall. I use the term break wall, but the water erosion capability, or to lessen that, especially on the bay side. To accomplish that, the town and the county have agreed on a land swap, and basically this is what we're seeking approval, because we need approval from the state legislature. Both houses have to approve. We're transferring 0.389 acres on the, I would say, on the north part of the sandbar. And in exchange, the county is giving us, excuse me, 0.462 acres of land. And the land that is being conveyed is part of the Sandbar Park. The land that we are receiving will become part of the Sandbar Park. So we're actually getting a net a gain of approximately 3,171 square feet. We don't have a meets and bounds, but we do have a map that's been provided to the Department of Public Works, and this should be attached to the proposed resolution. I'll take any questions anybody has about this.
Charlie, I have a concern, because I know that the home rule proceedings can often take a long time.
Yes.
Is this a time-sensitive matter, since it's part of the REDI project?
I can't speak to that. I assume these are all relatively time-sensitive, but I think the key is that we get it moving. I have been in contact with Senator Helming's office, and they are aware of this. They know this is coming. So once this resolution is passed, I will ask the town clerk to certify a resolution and the map, and we'll send it on to the state. There's usually a lot of paperwork involved, and I was told, and I'm hoping that this is the case, that some of the paperwork that I thought was necessary is not going to be on this. So we'll see how that works out. And we might be able to move this along fairly quickly.
It's my understanding that it's the relocation of portion of Lake Road that's the cause of us having to go through this. Now, as far as it affecting the REDI project, it would affect the movement of the road, but I don't believe it will affect the embankment enclosures.
Okay.
It should not, because it does have I don't think that's tied to it. The coastline embanking.
Josh Artuso, our acting DPW commissioner, and myself, up until a couple weeks ago, were attending Tuesday update phone calls with various members of the DEC, the State Parks Commission, the county, all the agencies really involved in this REDI project. And Josh, my interpretation of it was they just wanted to make sure that we got it into the legislative process with the state. They understand it takes time. We reported to them all along that really where we would have liked to have done this and gotten it into Senator Helming's hands and our state assembly person back in October, they did say, look, really until the election is done, we're not going to be touching any of this stuff. So I know this, Charlie, I think when you reached out to Senator Helming's office after the election, they came back and said, well, first, your town board should do a resolution that shows that you're all in agreement with this. Then get it over to Senator's office, and she will get it into the legislative process. Now, I have not attended the last couple of Tuesdays' update meeting on these REDI projects because it just happens to be the same time as the reinstated county calls with County Executive Bello and County Health Commissioner Dr. Michael Mendoza. And I have asked Josh, can you please, make sure you attend solo for the town? Have you seen anything different in the last couple of weeks from what I just described? Is this the state representatives on the REDI call basically get it into legislation?
Right, yeah, they basically were urging us to get it ready for them to take up during the next legislative session that's scheduled to begin in January. So I think I reported that this board would be acting on it this evening or next meeting, and they were satisfied with that.
Now, this is a little poetic justice on my part. From what I've read of the tea leaves, and I admit that I don't really know how the state government works, but I think the state government sees the REDI projects as a real jewel for them. And they really want to get these things moved along, whether it's because there's election year coming up, they want to have ribbon cuttings, this and that. I get the feeling that the state will move forward on this quicker than maybe what we've seen in the past on legislative actions like this for alienation, parkland swap, this and that. That's just the feel I get from these meetings. And some of the representatives have even said if we've shown any type of blip where it's going to cause a couple weeks delay, they're like, no, we got to move this thing along. The governor really wants to get these things, the shining penny, all to market in the beginning and middle of 2021. That should work to our advantage.
Sure.
So, that's my guess. Probably a longer-winded answer to your question, Patty, than we're looking for.
I had the answer about 10 minutes ago.
There you
That's
go.
okay.
There you go. All right. Well, then I guess who thinks that they can read this faster than me? Because I think that for the severity of this, we should read the resolution out loud. Anybody have a problem with me reading it?
No.
As quickly as possible. This is a resolution of the Webster Town Board to approve transfer of property on Lake Road currently designated as town parkland, convey it to the County of Monroe, and requesting Homerule legislation to permit such alienation. At a regular meeting of the Webster Town Board of the Town of Webster, Monroe County, New York, held in the Town Board meeting room on Thursday, December 3rd at 2020 at 7:30, all 5 board members were present. The following resolution is being offered and moved for its adoption. Whereas a 16,790 square foot, as Charlie said, a .389 acre parcel of land belonging to the Town of Webster located on Lake Road, currently adjoining Town of Webster Parkland and designated as part of the former tax ID number 063.09-01-032.1 and 063.09-01-037, which were transferred to the Town of Webster by the deed recorded in the Monroe County Clerk's Office in Library 9768 at page 165, which lands are currently used collectively as parkland known as Sandbar Park and owned and operated by the Town of Webster. And whereas the Town of Webster is owner of the aforesaid .389 parcel of land, now known as Sandbar Park, wishes to transfer the said .389 acre parcel to Monroe County in order to fulfill resiliency and economic development initiative, i.e. REDI, Project MO.56, the Lake Road realignment to allow for the realignment of Lake Road to mitigate flooding, calm traffic, and affect pedestrian safety, as well as improve the overall design of Sandbar Park. And whereas the town of Webster will receive from the county of Monroe 20,141 square feet, which is .462 acres of land contiguous to Sandbar Park, for use by the town as parkland for a net gain to the town of 3,171 square feet or .073 acres in return for said alienation. Whereas the drawing and maps are affected, Pastor Associates is annexed here too as Exhibits A and B. And whereas it is further required by Article 8 of the New York State Constitution that consideration for such transfers is acceptable that another municipality transfer an equal or greater parcel of land, the form of parkland to be conveyed to transfer to wit the town of Webster. And whereas the town of Webster has the authority upon approval of the New York State Legislature to transfer this .389 acre parcel for the purpose set forth, and whereas the county of Monroe will agree to convey to the town of Webster the .462 acres of land contiguous to Sandbar Park for the alienation of the .389 acre parcel by the town to it, and whereas the matter has been successfully discussed by the town board, and now therefore it be resolved that the town of Webster, upon approval of the New York State legislation by means of home rule legislation, will be permitted to transfer to the county of Monroe .389 acres of land on Lake Road currently used as parkland and owned and operated by the town of Webster in trade for .462 acres of land, which land is to be conjoined to the current Sandbar Park and to be designated and used as parkland by the town of Webster. That upon the passage of legislation to permit the transfer of the aforesaid .389 acre parcel, the town board will make a home rule request permitting such transfer. That the town board of the town of Webster will consent to be designated as lead agency for any coordinated review procedures for the proposed transfer under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. That the town board of the town of Webster requests the New York State Senate and the New York State Assembly to pass home rule legislation to enable the transfer of the aforementioned property from the town of Webster to Webster. Excuse me. Is that
County of Monroe.
County of Monroe, that's a
It should be
misprint.
County of Monroe, that was a typo.
from the county of Monroe to the town of Webster? Is that the sequence from the
From the town of
county?
Webster to the county of Monroe.
From the town of Webster to the county of Monroe?
Correct.
That is the motion that is being proposed. Did you get that change?
Yes, I did. Did someone second?
I think Bill did.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi? Aye. Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.